You are valuable. You are already a wealthy woman. God created you to be wealthy. There's something inside of you that the world needs. And not only does the world need it, you have to unlock it for yourself to truly live on purpose and to enjoy your life. You're not here just to be here. You're not here just to take up space and to lay in your bed and die. Hey babe, welcome to the Such a Woman podcast. I am your host, Dale Pasco, and over here we like to explore womanhood and femininity through the lens of faith. If it is your desire to become the woman of your dreams and to glorify God at the same time, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications to know when I upload weekly. Before we get into everything, I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed, who has tuned in, who has shared any of these videos, left a comment. I appreciate you guys greatly. I am on a journey of hitting 500 subscribers before the end of October. Are we in October? October, that's crazy. The end of this month. So if you haven't done so yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and help me meet my goal. And also, if you are new here, share something you want to learn about womanhood, God, relationships, marriage, anything like that, so I can know how to tailor this content to meet your needs and provide value. Let's go ahead and get into this conversation. I know when we refer to wealth in many conversations, we tend to just focus on monetary wealth and materialistic wealth and things that make us look rich outwardly. But I want to talk to you about internal wealth and how to turn that internal wealth into an actual substance that you can use. Being wealthy does not just apply to having a lot of money. Being wealthy really does start with your internal being first. When you partner with God and doing the work on your soul, going to therapy, healing from past traumas, allowing yourself to mature, being kind to people, being fruitful, you truly become more of a wealthy being. And wealth begets wealth. When you are a person who is not doing the work, you live an ugly life, and I'm not talking about like your face and stuff like that, but maybe you're not kind, or you cuss people out, or you tear people down, or you belittle yourself even, then you will notice that prosperity isn't really your norm. There are some people out here who know how to make money, but their hearts are very ugly, they're evil, they're wicked. And you'll notice that although this person and these people may sustain money for a while, it doesn't necessarily make them quote unquote wealthy. I believe wealthy is something that you actually want to pass down that is not going to curse the next generation, but actually be a blessing. When you are a wealthy woman, you are someone who is blessed and gives blessings and is able to receive blessings. So the first thing I will say to you is, when you are learning to become a wealthy woman, first things first, you want to establish a climate of wealth in your life. You want to begin working on things in such a way that when wealth comes into your life, I'm talking about the different types of wealth that begin to be drawn to your life, that they're able to be sustained because you've done the work on your character, on your mind, on your body, and even your habits, so that you don't squander what the Lord sends to you. The Bible says, I pray above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. When your soul is in a state of despair, and when your soul is not being worked on, when your soul is constantly in a place of being depressed and oppressed and broken, your soul is then in a state of poverty. And I speak to women often who sound and look like they have things together, but when you listen to the words, when you listen to the way they speak to themselves, when you listen to the way they handle other people and situations even, you can tell that prosperity is not their norm, and they're really in like this hustle culture. They're feeling like they have to work tooth and nail for everything. They're not resting. They don't really have quality relationships. They don't take care of their bodies. They don't take care of their minds. When you are a woman who is wealthy and learning to become wealthier, you will find that, one, you want to take care of this body, because what is the purpose of becoming wealthy in other areas if this body won't be able to enjoy the wealth that you are first becoming and building in the earth? When you are a wealthy vessel, I believe it really does start with the internal work and how you take care of your body first. Imagine having these horrible habits that affect your body, and you're getting sick all the time, you're always tired, you're always sluggish, it's affecting your mood, so you can't really enjoy having a wealthy life because your body is not up to par. Don't be out here just learning how to maintain money and you don't do the same for this actual body. One thing my husband speaks to me often that I have adopted and been learning to live by is not to be out here doing things for everyone else and pouring into other things without first pouring into myself. Okay, it's easy to get up and go and to neglect yourself. Wealthy women don't do that. You see women that tend to take care of themselves, right? It's really important that you don't put yourself on the back burner. So work on these things and create an environment where wealth is going to be drawn and attracted to. Also, keep your space clean. Work on your mindset. That is an environment within you that you have to make wealthy, because how you think is how you're going to live. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think negatively, then you're probably living an extremely negative life. So you want to cast down vain thoughts and things that do not work for the life that you are desiring to live. Figure out what wealth looks like for you. What does that mean? What does that look like? If you want to look at the monetary part of it, maybe you don't desire to be a millionaire or a billionaire. And not saying you will repel the money if it is drawn to your life or if your purpose needs that to come in. But it's possible that you're okay making $80K a year. And although you see these different lifestyles out here that's saying, hey, become a millionaire in a year, whatever, you are simply enjoying your life. Living on purpose still, but enjoying your life. You don't feel like you're in the hustle and bustle of trying to get $100 million before the end of this year or whatever. Is wealth having a family that knows that I love them and knows that I care about them and I will do everything that the Lord allows me to do for them? Is wealth being able to take 4 vacations, 5 vacations a year? Is wealth going home to a place that I actually feel at home in? Is wealth me being a stay-at-home mother or me being a C-suite woman? What does that look like for you? Don't allow everybody else to make their idea of wealth your wealth. Sit with God and figure out what wealth looks like for your life. And the reason this is important, I'll tell you, I was at Walmart and I was getting some paint to fix something in the house. This older gentleman was helping me, right? He was an employee at Walmart. He began speaking to me about his nephew, who I think he was like a waiter or something like that. And he was like, my nephew was telling me that he really wanted to get out of being a waiter and to jump into some other job because he felt like he wasn't good enough as a waiter. And he was saying, I wasn't trying to deter him from having bigger dreams or aspirations, but I do remember there being a time when, as long as you had honest work, people respected you for it. And I notice now, even with me working at Walmart, that people look down on me or they disrespect me because they feel like I'm less than. And he was telling me how a lot of people go into the store and they think that these older workers or whoever are extremely broke or they had no life before. And he's like, I actually have investments I live off of and I use this to get out of the house. I don't have to be here. And he said, I wish more people understood what wealth actually was. I want to share that with you to free yourself from any type of bondage that may be trying to form in your mind that tells you that what you're doing is not enough. And let me tell you something. I don't care if you're a janitor. I don't care if you're a cook somewhere. I don't care if you work at a restaurant, a car shop, have a fashion line. No matter where you are, if you're living on purpose and you're making an impact and you're giving value in that space, you can prosper anywhere. So I want you to see your life differently and look at wealth differently, and don't feel like wealth always has to do with a dollar sign and a monetary value. If you are giving value in a space, listen, it's a spiritual law that wealth has to be drawn to you, because now people are looking like, okay, who is this person? Maybe they give more tips. Maybe they open other doors for opportunity. You never know, but don't ever downplay who you are or where you're at right now and feel like you can't be wealthy in that space or that you're not wealthy now. In order to become and live as a wealthy woman, you have to know that you're already wealthy. The Lord created you in His image, and He created everything out of what we say is nothing, out of the substance of Himself. And because you were designed in His image, you are able to do the same thing. You have the greater one living within you. Even those who have not yet given their lives to Christ, they still have the ability to create. Being able to create happens from right here, your mouth. What you say is so powerful. What you say creates the life that you are currently living in and will live in. What you said before has established this place right now. And I can guarantee if you have not allowed yourself to see yourself as a wealthy woman, you haven't been speaking as wealthy women do. You possibly tear yourself down. You're probably extremely hard on yourself. It's possible that you talk yourself out of taking risks. Maybe you instill fear in your loved ones. It's possible that when things happen, you are always worrying and in disarray. I want you to change the way you're speaking. Wealthy women do not tear themselves down with their tongues. Wealthy women speak highly of themselves. I was listening to this one lady speak, and she was just talking about how wealthy she was and how rich she was. But then I really started listening to the things she was saying. She was always telling jokes, like making jokes about herself and tearing herself down and talking about how fat and big she was and all of like these very demeaning things. And I'm like, this woman is not as wealthy as she thinks she is. She is, but she hasn't like given herself permission to actually like believe and come into agreement with it. She had these physical riches, but she didn't allow herself to be enriched internally. When you are enriched internally, it shows up in everything you do. Wealth, again, you guys, is drawn to wealth. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel it so strongly. Like, do the internal work. See yourself as someone who's worthy of living a wealthy life. And when you do that, you give yourself permission to dream. You give yourself permission to set goals and actually accomplish those goals. You give yourself permission to take care of your body. We fall into these slumps and stuff because we don't feel like we're living on purpose. And live on purpose. Figure out the things that you love. Why are you here? What impact can you make? When you live on purpose and when you live intentionally, wealth has to come. Because wealth is drawn to purpose. And God did not give any of us a purpose that He is not willing to fund. When you're just living every day scotch-free as if you have nothing to do, what's the purpose of you making more money? What's the purpose of your life leveling up? What's the purpose of things around you shifting and becoming better? Like, what is it trying to accommodate? You have to give this world something to accommodate. When you step into rooms, do people see you and they're like, I'm really interested in what she's doing? And do they come and speak to you to figure out what causes you're a part of or what causes they can be a part of in your life? And do they write checks? Do they give you money? Do they sow into who you are as an individual because you just ooze wealth? Or are you someone that people don't really notice because you don't really take the time to notice yourself and to recognize who you are? One thing my mentor asked me was, Dale, she told me this first. I want you to sit in who you are as Dale, as the one who was designed by God. Sit in that for a moment. Sit in that for a moment. Because I need you to really take in who you are. And when she told me to do that, I was like, I have to step it up even more because God has made me like a really dope chick. You know what I'm saying? Like when you sit in who you are as God's design, an original design, a masterpiece by the one who created everything, it's like, oh no, I'm not playing small. I'm not downplaying. I'm not dumbing myself down. When I show up, I'm showing up. So I need you to realize that you are a wealthy woman that has a purpose and that God needs your purpose to be fulfilled, because when you're fulfilling purpose, He's able to give you the monetary wealth and other things that you need in order to not just fund things for the kingdom, but also to enjoy. You don't just have to make money just to take care of other people. You should be enjoying the fruits of your labor. You should be enjoying the fact that you sat in therapy for years. You should be enjoying the fact that you're not impoverished in your thinking. You should be enjoying the fact that you took care of your body. Listen, when my body drops weight and I'm taking care of my body, I'm not wearing no frumpy clothes. I'm wearing things that make me look and feel good. When I'm taking care of my mind, I'm not going into spaces and sitting at tables and downplaying the wisdom and the knowledge that the Lord has given me. I'm adding to conversations. Enjoy the wealth that is being accumulated in your life. And of course you use it with wisdom. You don't go out there and just squander it. For instance, with money, you don't just go and spend it just because you have it. But also when it comes to wisdom that the Lord has imparted in you, you don't give your pearls to swine. You don't just give the things that you had to work for to any and everybody. You have to weigh situations, you have to weigh relationships, you have to weigh opportunities and investments. You have to weigh these things so that you can make sure you're doing the necessary things with the wealth that you have been acquiring. However, at the same time, you want to make sure you're being a giver. This is another key. Be a giver. Givers never run out of seed. Givers always have. And one of the tricks of the enemy is to make you stingy or to make you feel like you don't have anything to give. Not just even monetarily, but even from you as a person. You have gone through something, you've experienced something, you've seen something, you have learned something, you have something to give. One thing I constantly give others, just like I'm doing now, is wealth of information. And because of that, I don't run out. God is always speaking something to me. He's always teaching me. When I give to people, God always gives it back to me. It doesn't matter what that is. It's a spiritual law. You reap what you sow. So if you fall for the trick that you have nothing to give, you won't receive. Wealthy women are able to receive. They establish themselves in a way where they're able to receive. They accept help. They receive monetary donations. People want to bless them with cars. Their bodies are able to receive seed from their husband. They're able to receive love from their children. And they're also able to give, right? It's so much more than just the monetary part. What can you receive? Do you feel like you've been in a place where you can't receive from anyone, or you're afraid of connecting because you think you're going to be abused? Wealthy women set themselves up to not be in abusive relationships. When you know that you are a gold mine, first of all, you don't just let anybody around that space to try to find gold. And you don't put yourself in spaces to where people can find the gold and trample on it and destroy it. You're intentional with who accesses that gold, but you're also intentional with being available to other people for them to be able to see the value of the gold that's within you. So you have to understand that I'm a wealthy woman, and I'm a woman who not only wants to receive, but I want to give. And I don't only want to give, I want to receive. When I stop myself from both, I'm living like, well, in handcuffs like this. I can't move. Or my hands are like this. I'm afraid. So I'm not giving anything out, and I'm not taking anything in. And because you're not giving anything out, then you can't reap anything. But when you're not able to reap anything, you can't sow. So you want to remain a giver. And lastly, I want to remind you that you are valuable. You are already a wealthy woman. God created you to be wealthy. And there's something inside of you that the world needs. Not only does the world need it, you have to unlock it for yourself to truly live on purpose and to enjoy your life. You're not here just to be here. You're not here just to take up space and to lay in your bed and die. What I want you to do is look in the mirror and smile at yourself today and see the wealth that is here. And maybe you look at yourself and you're like, dang, I don't know. You better find something. And then look beyond and see, I'm a beautiful woman. And maybe you have work to do, as we all do. So how can you turn that into something that becomes wealthy, so that when you look in the mirror, you enjoy and you love all of you? That is the assignment I'm going to leave you with today. I really do hope you take that into consideration and do the work on yourself, because you are a wealthy woman and you are already rich. So you need to stop acting like you're broke. All right, I love you and I appreciate you greatly for tuning in today. If this video was of value, please do not forget to subscribe and turn on your bell notifications. As always, remember, you are her in real life, and I will talk to you next time.